welcome to the Furniture Sisters. Today we are just going to do a quick tutorial for you on how we do a polyurethane top coat to finish a piece that we're working on. This currently is the top, or it's going to be a pull down desk. This is the front of the pull down desk. It's a vintage old 1904 desk that we're super excited about. The back has already received multiple coats of polyurethane. We're just finishing with one last coat of polyurethane and we want to take you with us. So for finishing this, we are using our favorite polyurethane top coat. This is General Finishes High Performance Top Coat. We like the finish flat. It gives it just a very tiny bit of shine. It's not totally flat, like no shine. It's just enough for us. We're going to use this. It's a water-based polyurethane, which means it's good for using on light colors as it doesn't yellow. That is something you have to be careful for. You don't want to put a product on your paint that you've worked so hard on and actually have it turn yellow. We've got some in here. The first thing you need to do is gently stir it. You want to get it all mixed in. You want everything that has settled to the bottom to be all mixed in. All of whatever's in this concoction of polyurethane, it's important to get it mixed so that it adheres properly. You want to work slowly. You don't want to incorporate bubbles in your finish. If you can't find the General Finishes top coat, we also love using this Varnish Ultimate Polyurethane. It's pretty similar and it also gives you a really good finish. We like it in matte. We currently have 2 coats of polyurethane on this piece. In between each coat of polyurethane, we use a super fine, high grit sandpaper to break down any bumps that have happened in the process. So I've already done it to this. I use a sanding sponge. I like it. It's grippy. It has a little bit of oomph so you can hold it. Just barely, lightly go over it. And then you're going to remove the dust with either a very lightly dampened paper. You can also use a tap cloth to remove the dust. So you want a dust-free finish before you add this last coat of polyurethane. When I prepare to use the polyurethane, I don't dip my brush in the original container because you don't want to incorporate anything into this. It's expensive. So I always scoop out some, put it in an old container. We save our yogurt containers, our sour cream, cottage cheese containers. They're perfect for using for your top coats. Let me talk about the applicators that we use. We have had success with these 3 different applicators. This is just your basic black foam brush. It's disposable, you can throw it away. It works really well, giving you nice, smooth finish without a lot of brush strokes. This one we will always dampen with a mister before we start using it. We've also used these with great success. We just pick it up on Amazon. It is designed for applying polyurethane. Same thing with the black foam brush. We will run this under some water, squeeze out as much of the water as you can, and then dip it and go to town. It's a good applicator. The last applicator that we love, this is a Worcester brush. It is a polyester brush, not a natural bristle brush. So it works really well to alleviate those brush strokes. We use this quite a bit. They don't cost a lot. You actually can throw it away when you're done. You can rinse it out and clean it too. I'm going to go ahead and use my Worcester brush for this. This is what I used for the first 2 coats of polyurethane. It has already been used. I stored it in a Ziploc bag, so it has some polyurethane on it left over. I always use my mister brush before I get started and gently mist it. Not a lot. It just helps the polyurethane go on better. Again, remember I've poured my polyurethane into my disposable container. Here we go. I'm just going to barely dip that in. And we work quickly. Follow the grain of the wood, start applying it. Going all the way across. We don't overwork it. See how I've gone over with minimal brush strokes, overlapping my last swipe, and then I continue. Once I'm done applying in the direction of the grain, I'm not going to go back over it. If you go over it, you run the risk of affecting the finish. This is going to be a challenge here with these decorative elements. So I'm going to have to be careful that I don't get polyurethane pulling in areas where the decorative elements are. This is a little challenging and probably not the best option for a beginner to try. You have to be really careful that you don't have drips. I'm always watching for drips. And I constantly go back over and look at my work and make sure that drips aren't pulling. They just kind of appear. You think you're good, and then you look and go, oh my gosh, there's a drip. And you just gently touch that drip and work it out without affecting your finish. You can see in some of these areas, we've got polyurethane that is pulling up. I want to alleviate any areas where the polyurethane is pulling up. We're making progress. See how I'm just working in one direction. Don't overwork it. Remember, don't go back over a spot that you've already worked on. If you miss something, you can always catch it on the next coat. All right, we're finishing up. Got one last pass up here on the top. Making sure I don't miss any spots. All right, here we go. One last light pass. And this will be finished. Checking for drips. See that one? I'm just gonna catch it and we'll be good. It's easier to catch those drips when they're wet than to have to resand it and get them out after they've dried. I'm using these yellow things to prop this up. These are just little triangles I discovered. They hold your pieces up. I used them also when I was painting my kitchen cupboards. So the dry time on this, after I've applied this coat, it'll be dry depending on where you live, within an hour to 2 hours, and you can recoat after 2 hours. Remember, in between each coat, you're going to lightly sand with a fine grit sandpaper to knock down any bumps that have happened from applying your polyurethane. If it is your final coat of polyurethane, you are not going to sand that final coat. You leave it as is and enjoy the beautiful finish. All right, you can see it's kind of pulling up right there and it's settling in here. I'm going to gently just work that out. We don't want it to dry that way because it will look a little different than your normal thin coat of polyurethane. We hope you've enjoyed this video and learned a lot. Putting on polyurethane can be a scary thing, but if you practice, it's not that hard. Remember, it's not rocket science, and we believe in you. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and you can also find us on Instagram at the Furniture Sisters.